Many things have changed over the years at Monte Sesker's farm in Iowa, but one constant has been this 1940 John Deere B. Monte says one reason he has such a special relationship with this tractor is because they've both been around the same number of years.
The tractor and I were put in service the same year. We're both 77 years old, and I admit the tractor looks better than I do, but it's been in the family for all that time, 77 years.
The B was bought new by Monte's grandpa at their local John Deere dealership, just a mile down the road from their home.
I've looked online, and John Deere at that time was charging about $800 for a B John Deere, but they gave the local dealership the alternative of going down $100. So the best guess is my grandfather paid $700 to $800, somewhere in that range for it. When we bought the farm in 1966 from my grandfather's estate, and I told my uncle who had the tractor, I said, you know, the old tractor ought to come back to the farm. And he said, you know, you're right, come and get it. So I used it around the farm. I probably used it for probably 5-6 years, and then put it in the shed, and I tried as best I could to lubricate it and get it ready for a long-term storage. And I was in storage, I guess, for about 35 years.
Many people will recognize Monte as the longtime editor of Wallace's Farmer magazine. When he retired, Monte decided it was finally time for a total restoration of the family tractor.
And when I retired, my sons and put new rubber on it. That was a surprise to me. When I got home, it was my retirement present from them. We started working on it, and it took about 2 years, just off and on. We worked on it in the wintertime, and when we had a little time to spare. We didn't really push too hard, but the closer we got to getting it finished, the more excited you get, and boy, it's going to look pretty nice. I kept thinking anyway, and yeah, I have to say the tractor looks a lot better than I do. So anyway, we had fun with that.
Monte has many fond memories of the Model B, and one that's not so good.
I guess my biggest memory was going around the edge of the crib with this tractor, and I hit the edge of the crib with it and dented the grill on one side, and I thought I was going to get in real trouble, but I didn't. And that dent was there until we refurbished the tractor.
Now a new generation will get to make memories with this tractor. That's because Monte decided to give the B to his grandson Rick as a Christmas present.
It's meant a lot to me, the heritage, and since I got it from my grandfather, I thought it would only be fair to give it to my firstborn grandson. So Rick, my grandson Rick, is going to inherit the tractor.
When we were really young, we used to come over here, and my sister and I were babysat by my grandparents, and during the day they'd kind of just let us run around the farm and climb on whatever and play games. And so it was always in the shed, and it was always climbed on, but we never actually saw it run until he started restoring it. I didn't really see it when it was in the restoring process, but when I saw it, I didn't know that was the same tractor. It looks really, really good now. It was awesome. He drove it over to our house, and like I said, I didn't even recognize it as the same tractor that was sitting in the shed. It just looks amazing. All the colors really bright, and the big smile on my grandpa's face when he rode it over. I had some pointers that I needed to figure out when I first drove it. The gear shift was kind of strange. I'd never worked before, and the steering, but it's fun to drive. Drove it around town and drove it up and down the roads, out in the field and stuff.
The John Deere B had a nearly 20-year production run, and over 300,000 were built. making it the best-selling two-cylinder tractor the company ever produced. Bs can be broadly divided into 3 groups, and the sleek sheet metal, 6-inch headlights, and pressed steel wheels signal that this is an early styled model. The two-cylinder engine in this version produced 18.5 horsepower at the belt and just over 16 at the drawbar.
The tractor moves at a very fast 5.5 miles an hour. So it's a little slow to go on most of the big tractor rides. So I do take it downtown, drive it around a little bit occasionally to keep it working. The next year, I think in '41, they kicked the road gear up to about 7.5 miles an hour, but this is only 5.5. So it takes a while to get anywhere you want to go.
Shared ownership of this John Deere B has brought Monte and Rick even closer. Now they have something else besides Iowa State basketball to obsess over, their love of this longtime family heirloom.
I'm just thrilled that he's happy and enjoying it, and I hope he may live in a big city where he can't keep it, but it'll still be his, and even though his dad will store it for him.
I'm very proud. It's cool. It's a really nice tractor, and it's also really cool to share something like that with my grandpa. It's cool to be the one to keep the tractor in the family, and my dad and I, I'm sure, and my grandpa are all happy that it's back in its former glory, and we can continue to keep it nice and hopefully keep passing it down, keep the tradition going.
Thanks for catching Classic Tractor Fever. If green is your scene, be sure to check out these other classic stories. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to keep those classic tractor stories rolling.